Reunion. Hello, y'all. I was selling crack on a private jet up in the hell and back. But no confusion, this a reunion. Hello, y'all. Welcome back. Get murder here. He counting money. He said, "Can man, the hell with rap. I'm only here to shit on niggas and piss on bitches. Welcome, ass. I bought jewelry and bikes, nigga. Black Benzes and white Vigors. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more chandeliers and light fixtures. Nah. I don't like niggas, what's wrong with me? I'm a hype nigga, but this 44 turn to Michael Jordan. I look and say, take flight, nigga.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog. It's the easiest way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in over 30 states, including Georgia, Missouri, and Texas, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog app. Use code Mase, Cam, or STAT to get up to $1,000 in bonus funds with your first deposit. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mase and Cam.
Cam, what up, man?
Murder, what's good? How you today, man?
Good, man.
Good to see you, brother.
It's good that I like this weekend, everything went as usual,
Nothing new, You know what, Murder? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I got a little invested. You got out at the right time, and I got a little bit brainwashed, a little bit.
Yeah, they had you bringing out Kiv clothing and all that.
Man. I'm disappointed in myself. I let myself down for going back into that point.
Yeah.
I already knew that. And for me to feed back into that
was ridiculous. Into it.
Yeah, pause. It's ridiculous on my part. I can't blame myself. I can't blame anybody but myself to blame for giving about 22% of emotion. You got out, you was trained, you called it at the right time. I have to concede that you knew.
Yeah.
And I knew too. I don't know why I fell for this. I have no idea. The city had me hyped. The city had me on one.
Yeah, the city had you hyped. They hit niggas with trash cans and all that. It was amped,
Yeah.
Naming
man.
streets after people. That's when I had to get out. I had to get out.
As you should. As you should,
when you
man.
get that excited and you start celebrating that early, you just know it's not going to be enough gas,
You knew it. You knew it,
I
man.
knew it.
You knew it.
You'll learn these things in summer school, Titletown. But are you still enrolled?
I'm still enrolled. I'm a student. I'm waiting every day.
Yeah, because I saw your application the other day. I'm going to push it through,
Okay.
Yeah. And I like the way Cam is getting ahead of this, because the whole New York is blaming Cam and Remy Ma for the losing of the Knicks. They're blaming Cam
Remy
Ma.
What Remy had to do with it?
I don't know what she had to do with it. I'm just telling you what they're saying. Shout out to Remy. Shout out to Pat. Man, I wish them, the best. But they blaming Cam and Remy Ma. I don't know which one is really
They can blame me all they want. I don't care.
They said Cam, he jinxed us. He threw the gear on, and I didn't know what to say to it, I didn't know what to say. I took your side, though,
My thing is, I'm not even going to argue about it. I don't care. It's been going on for too long. I don't have a care in the world. I'm more mad that I fell into them thinking. I'm thinking that when they got back 3-2, I said they could pull a miracle off. No fucking miracle. It was on 34th Street.
You start reminiscing, seeing Bernard King run out the locker room and all that.
There's no miracles on 33rd Street, man.
Yeah, man.
It's not.
So who's they this time that's saying they jinxed? Is it the streets? Is it the ghetto? Which source of they is it? Because I want to know.
Stat. Your application ain't all the way finished for you to be doing this just yet. But I'm going to go and say the ghetto. This is what the ghetto is saying. This is what they're saying in the bars and the juice bars and stuff like that. That's what they're saying. The Cam name is floating around. Cam put this bad spirit on them,
That's fine with me.
That's what they saying. PT, you heard that? PT trying to
They want to blame me. If that's the case, I'm blaming Bernard Getz.
Yeah.
Y'all go Google that. That's who fault it is. Bernard Getz.
Yeah.
So we have a lot to discuss, not even just the preview for the next game, but this game as well. So we're going to start, like y'all said, the Knicks are out. The Pacers are going to the finals after winning 125-108. Mase,
You said the Knicks are going to the finals?
No, I said the Knicks are out. End of the road.
I thought it was Knicks in 7.
By who?
The Knicks ain't lose?
The Knicks did lose.
Oh, then why is niggas saying Knicks in 7?
Maybe there's hope for the next time. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was Gilbert Arenas trolling. He said Knicks in 6 or something.
I feel like there's a point you were saying Knicks in 6, but maybe, I don't know.
Stat, you came in there with the jersey on.
I did, and then they won.
And you were hype. Where your jersey at?
It's not here anymore. I was hype. I felt the festiveness. I wanted to be part of it.
You was invested?
A little bit. Yeah, a little.
You was a Knick girl?
A little bit. It was a good moment.
All right.
A moment. Emphasis on moment.
Now, I'm really gonna say I'm not surprised at the Knicks. This is what we've been watching our whole life. This is the letdown we've been looking at our whole life. You get really excited about this team. They show up. They show great flashes of what it could be. You know, it's like all our exes, you know, stuff that it could have been that it just never turned into. And then you see them next time and they don't look the same, you know. You have to remember that it just didn't work out. And it's hard to be happy with people that things don't work out with, you know. We're watching this on the internet and everywhere, you know. It's a lot going on for New York. I guess it's just back to the Diddy trial. But what was you asking me again?
Yeah, how'd you feel about the game?
I knew all of this was going to happen. I like the way Mikal Bridges showed up. You know, he started looking like he was going to make a difference in the game. And I just think when it came down to it, Indiana just was a better team. When you look at this Knicks team, even though they have good players at each position, they're missing something. And I'm not sure if it's just that Jalen Brunson scores so much that it takes away from the other people. Even though he's scoring at a high volume, he doesn't look bad out there at all. But I'm not sure if that's the right fit for them to win a championship. They won't win a championship with a 6-foot guard getting 40 points. You just won't, you know. And even though the New York get hype about that, it just reminds you of Rucker, you know, Dykeman, you know, what is Kingdom. We seen that, but that don't work in the NBA. In the NBA, to win a championship, the point guard got to be at least 6'3" and higher. If not, then that 30 points going to lead to a loss in the series every single time. But then you got Siakam that was just looking like it was his league. And the remarkable thing about Siakam on that Indiana team is that they don't call any plays for him. It's just he's the epitome pause of get it out the mud. Like if the loose ball is his, he get a basket, he get a putback, and the whole team. I think the guy Nembhard, how do you say his name?
Nembhard.
Yeah, he made the difference when he stepped up to guard Jalen Brunson. He had some key steals that blew the game open. Pause, and they was just a better team. They came to handle their business. The Knicks tried to jump out in the beginning. But when it was all said and done, Indiana was just way too fast for them. And I don't know if any team could keep up with them if they're playing at that pace. It seemed like people could play the first half that way. But when they get to that third and fourth quarter at that same tempo, if they could keep that up, they'll be really fine.
Look, I have my notes ready and everything. It's no notes. This is what the Knicks do. There's no notes. I'm not noting nothing. Nembhard, like Murder said, put the clamps on Jalen Brunson, locked him down from 94 feet, begin to end, gave him a hard time. Because, look, I have my notes. Look, the Knicks shot good. This nigga 6 for 9 and 10 for 18. And fuck that. They had on a Knick jersey. Michael Jordan in the Knick jersey is not going to win. LeBron, it doesn't matter who puts the jersey on. When you put on the jersey, you lose, man. Who's your favorite? Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Your favorite will lose. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Allen Iverson, Anthony. You don't win in a Knicks jersey. That's just the bottom line. You don't win. It has nothing to do with the players. All the players are decent. You just have on a Knicks jersey. You don't win when you have on a Knicks jersey. I keep telling niggas this, man.
That's crazy.
You just don't win when you put on a Knicks jersey, man. Anything after 74 and you put on a Knicks jersey, you don't win. It's no notes. It's no trying to analyze the game. The analyst is when you started the season and put that Knicks jersey on, you were doomed not to win. That's just how it goes. We can say and read they beat Boston, they beat the champs. You don't win. That's what they keep, stop calling me too with that. Well, we beat the champs, not in the championship. Okay? You keep telling, well, we beat the champs. Jason Tatum was hurt and you didn't win in the championship. You did, because they keep trying to hit me on the phone with that. But what did you win? Okay, you won a series. You did not win an Eastern Conference Finals. Did not win it. Stop calling me what y'all beat the champs, because they're not the champs anymore. They're about not to be the champs. You didn't beat the champs in the championship. Now I'll focus on Indiana. I have nothing to say about the Knicks. We know what happened. The Knicks continuously keeps nicking, and that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
And so back to Indiana. Now what Indiana did was they pressed them niggas full court the whole game. The Knicks looked really tired. They looked like a nigga who was supposed to fight a 15-round fight and they only trained for 8 rounds. They looked tired. They were not, that's what happens though. Tibbs running them niggas in the ground all season. And the shit hit the fan. That's exactly what happened. The shit hit the fan. Finally, that starting 5 said, God damn, man, we tired. And I was thinking to myself, even if they win this series, they not gonna have enough left in the tank for Oklahoma City. They would get swept. Or they were losing 5, definitely. They didn't have enough gas in the tank to go 7 with Indiana and then play OKC, who had a lot of rest and them niggas is ready to go. Anyway, man. Nah, because I'm not finished. I have to take a deep breath.
Take your time.
Even when niggas was scoring, what Indiana did was run the ball. After a missed basket, after a made basket, I can recall 2 or 3 plays, maybe 3 plays, where the Knicks scored and Indiana threw the ball up the court, 1 dribble, 2 passes, Siakam landed up. At least twice did I recall that if I didn't walk to the kitchen and miss nothing else. They are running and they knew that y'all couldn't keep up with them. This also is a statement of Rick Carlisle. Nigga said, okay, this is Tibbs doesn't make adjustments, Rick Carlisle does. Nigga said, all right, this is what y'all want to do. Referring to game 5, when the Knicks won that game, he's like, okay, this is a nigga like, so you doing that. I bet. And they came out and exposed you. You got out coached too, Tibbs. I don't know what's gonna happen with you because the Knicks fans are disgusted with you. They wanted you fired during the series. I had to tell niggas, yo, Murder, I don't think niggas be thinking that we can move mountains because niggas be like, say it on the show, Cam. Say it on the show. I'm like, I said that you don't want them. What do you think? You're not saying it enough because if you say it enough, they gonna do it the same way that you got Julius Randle and DiVincenzo traded. You and Murder did that. You think these GMs and owners, kids don't listen to y'all? And then when they listen to y'all, they go back and tell them, and then the GM, yo, my nigga, these niggas be delusional, my nigga. It's ridiculous. But congratulations to the Indiana Pacers. They definitely seem like the better team. The Knicks look like they definitely need some rest and need to work on their bench in the offseason and figure out what they're going to do with Tibbs. Because Tibbs, it looked like he's stubborn and wanted to start putting players in the game in game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. You're not going to get no rhythm off them niggas like that, man. I know everybody's supposed to be professionals and when their name is called, go answer the bell. But it ain't going to work like that in the Eastern Conference Finals. So congratulations to the Pacers, man. Did you see Murder when the nigga Haliburton thought that he's going to get MVP?
Yeah.
I'm just happy he went to Siakam, though. I think Siakam deserved it.
The Haliburton is still going crazy, though. It's still Haliburton time, Yellow City.
Why do you call it the Haliburton?
Yeah.
That nigga more like Martin Luther King. That nigga ain't no Haliburton.
What?
Nigga, you know what time.
Haliburton, Yellow City, man.
Nah, if anything was the Haliburton, Haliburton's killers. Like,
yeah.
Now, see, Haliburton, he nice, don't get it wrong, but he a nigga that's like, you know what, I ain't trying to, we ain't gonna get into the real thing because they'll be trying to harass them all, but if you gonna nickname when they that, make sure that's a nigga with an AK, he gonna spray everything. Kobe's the band, Jordan, with Tyrese Haliburton is, and I'm not discrediting, He's a nigga who's accurate with one grenade, throw it, and then hit the right niggas and he run. He's not the Haliburton. Let's cut it short, my nigga. That's assassins, murderers, killers. He's very accurate when he needs to be. The Haliburton don't get 8 points in game 4. It just don't go like that.
He had 24 and 13.
Not when they lost, he had 8.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, pardon me, game 5. I'm sorry, not game 4, game 5. He
was in the cave. Pause. He was in the cave. They was looking for him.
I seen him. He was out there. That nigga, motherfucker, Siakam looked like Captain Phillips, the nigga who was on the boat with Tom Hanks and them niggas. He was there every game, my nigga. So to me, they got it right. I see a lot of people saying that they felt Haliburton deserved it, but Siakam was there for them games. Haliburton wasn't. Yeah. And to Mase's credit, they don't run a lot of plays for him. He gets it where he can get it. Even in the final game, he had 31. He had 30 the other night, 24 the other night. Sometimes Haliburton be missing. And don't
it'd be a long rebound. He get the long rebound and save them every time.
Right. So I think Haliburton, you don't win it without him. And of course you need him. And I wouldn't have been mad if he got either. But to me, I would have voted for Siakam.
Yeah. What's actually funny is, Mase, you probably don't remember, you actually predicted Siakam, because when you first said it, I looked like, but like after, now that it's all said and done, I'm like, okay, it definitely makes a lot of sense.
Thank me later, man. Thank me later.
You're like, it's probably going to go to Siakam or something. And I was like, huh? And then it happened. I'm like, okay, yeah, that was said. So I got to ask y'all.
And then that was another thing, not to cut you off, is when you sit there and think about two champions in OG Anunoby and Siakam, who played on the same team, it looked like Siakam was like, I know this nigga, man.
It's my little man.
It's my little man's. And like, yo, send him my way. This nigga, this my little nigga right here. That's what it looked like to me. Like, I used to kill this nigga in practice.
Right.
That's the vibes I was getting.
Right. Okay, so down to nicknames, because y'all obviously are good with that. And you compared Haliburton to MOK. It's giving peaceful.
It's Haliburton.
If it's not the
it's
Haliburton,
It's Yellow City, man. It's Yellow City, man. We up. We up.
But do you feel like Haliburton has that fire or no?
You comparing, I'm saying, it sounds cool because names goes with my Max and Murder. You comparing him to Bin Laden, basketball-wise, though?
He got a click with him, you know. It's like what's his name? Luca Brasi, man, the Taliban. It's like his niggas with him. He got a lot of light-skinned shooters with him.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to say on this show because niggas will come back and be talking about y'all forget the victims and all that niggas, you know. So at the end of the day, I don't really want to compare too much to it. But I'm just saying, I don't think he a killer like that. I think he's on the verge of winning this championship. He's right there, superstar. He's third team All NBA. But I would say more of he's cool.
Damn.
You just got him as cool killer?
No, because people are downgrading him. You know, overrated, comparing him, saying he's not a superstar. First of all, he's an Olympic gold medalist, third team All NBA, went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and now he's going to a championship, and he's super duper young. He has a lot of time to do all this stuff again. But I don't get. I don't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody say he was giving magic flashes.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't get the
new hotness is crazy.
Yeah, man. Man. I get vegan. Get vegan
that
vibe.
didn't get it.
Vegan is good for you too, though. That's what I'm saying. Vegan is healthy.
What they call it, Impossible Burgers and all that.
Yo.
No beef. Pause.
That's what I get. But vegan's good for you. You know what I'm saying? Vegan might be better than a cheeseburger or something, a steak, depending on it depends on what's your cup of tea.
Impossible Burger is crazy. I'm gonna let y'all think on it, because I think like it might be time for like Shea Butter got a nickname, like Haliburton
Shea Sizzle, he got a couple.
That's what I'm saying. Haliburton doesn't have one. Jason Tatum doesn't really have one. I'm like, there's definitely a comparison and like the grit and the dog. Yeah,
because think about the two light skin with the nice hair niggas. When are you gonna name them?
Yeah. What kind of name can you give them?
Yeah, they the same complexion with the same hair.
Oh gosh.
Jodeci.
Yeah, light-skinned Jodeci, Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys. I don't know. I'm curious
Smooth.
to see what
Jodeci
they...
is smooth.
Sha-na-na.
Yeah, Shalimar and all that.
Yeah. Light-skinned. I like the light-skinned.
El DeBarge
Yeah,
and all that.
they like the drug dealers in Tyler Perry movies.
Yeah.
Safe drug dealers.
Safe.
Jason Tatum, though, to me,
Nah,
Jason
Tatum
Tatum
is crazy,
he got more
though.
dog in him pause than,
Then Haliburton.
yeah.
Fair.
You think so?
I believe so.
Nah, I'm just trolling right
Yeah, I
now.
think so.
Shout out to my boy Jason Tatum. Get well, man.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so let's get into our underdog picks. So, of course, Thursday, the Pacers will play the Thunder for the NBA Finals. Underdog has SGA at 5.5 rebounds. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
We're going higher. I think he's gonna have a game of the century. I really think he's been waiting to get to this moment so long that he's gonna go out there and really like have one of the best games he ever had.
And what's the number?
5.5 rebounds.
Shay? Mm-hmm. I'm going to go lower. You realize that both these people are in the championship because of Paul George, right? Off the trade. You know what I'm saying? Paul George.
Trade, yeah.
Paul George got traded to the Clippers for Shea. And then there was a trade where Paul George and Sabonis ended up going. I forget, I had it in my notes. I just put my notes away. But in some type of way, I got it written down. No, not Philly. It's
No, it was
the
Indiana.
Kings. Yeah, but Indiana and the
pick.
Kings. It got the Kings, and he got traded for Sabonis. Because Haliburton was with Sacramento.
Yeah.
So Paul George, think about this, all because of him, these trades, and he never been to the finals.
Crazy. Okay.
Lower though.
Okay. Haliburton's at 17.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
He's so up and down, pause. I'm going lower.
I'm going higher. It's Haliburton. It's Haliburton on nothing right now. It's Yellow City, man.
Okay. And Siakam's at 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Do you have him higher or lower, Mace?
Higher.
Should be higher.
I don't know if they're gonna win it, but they looking good right now.
The way the fucking Oklahoma City Thunder defense look, like I say, they look like some piranhas, bro.
Yeah.
They looked really, but then I liked Indiana defense. Last game against the Knicks, well, to be honest with you, Indiana last game against the Knicks reminded me of OKC's defense throughout the season. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Make sure to download the Underdog app and you can make your picks too. So Cam, you was talking about how people wanted Tibbs to be fired. At this point, just real quick on the Knicks before we go to our finals preview, do you think he should? Or you think people are jumping the gun?
Cam.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care who coached the Knicks, man. They're not gonna win. So every year we keep looking for somebody to blame. Me, because I'm wearing paraphernalia. Tibbs is coaching. Spike Lee is there. Stephen A. Smith shouldn't have been at the game. This person, it don't matter. Get who you want. You know what? Here, I'll say it for the fans who are. The Knicks fans that I've talked to want Mike Malone. Mike Malone was just broadcasting the conference finals on ESPN. Obviously, he doesn't have a coaching job yet. This is who the Knicks want. Go ahead and fight Mike Legacy up. Go ahead on over there if you want, Mike. Have a good time. Not winning. Congratulations. I don't know if Tibbs should be. To answer your question, that's a great question. But I don't have the answer because it doesn't matter. Get who you want. Red Auerbach out the grave. Pat Riley out retirement. Bring Phil Jackson back. Bring Pop over. It's not going to happen, man. Bill Belichick want to cross over sports. Get who you want. It's just not going to work for the Knicks, yo. Not in this century.
Yeah, the Knicks did not work with Phil Jackson. You remember that? They brought Phil in.
Yes.
It's the only place that couldn't win with Phil Jackson.
Exactly. Exactly.
But there's two candidates I think could turn this into something. I think, and I know I keep saying this, but somebody need to look into this. I really believe somebody like, what's his name, Steve Van Gundy. I know he had Stan Van Gundy. What's the brother? Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff. They need somebody like that coaching that team that's like real fiery.
Jeff tried, bro. Jeff tried. He coached the Knicks already.
Jeff got him close. He got him closer than this.
That's not enough. If you wear a Knicks jersey, you will not win.
Jeff already tried. He already coached. You want to bring him back for the new regime? It's on you. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, roll the dice again on Jeff. And the only reason why I said Jeff because I really believe somebody probably like Mark Jackson could win with this team. They need to go.
That's all I could go. I
outside
could
the
go
box.
for that, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
somebody like Mark would spark a different energy in them. Not Rick Pitino, not any of those people. I only said Jeff because Jeff probably would bring Mark with him, but I think this is that type of team that you gotta go out the box. Because Mike Malone would just be the same as Thibodeau in a way. It would just be the same kind of same output he'll get from the players. You need somebody that could spark a different part of their brain because that's why they keep losing. They get right there. But in order to win, you need somebody that could push you past that point so you can end up winning those games that count. Because right now, they need somebody that could tell them that also that Jalen Brunson got to be in championship shape. Cat Williams. I keep saying Cat Williams.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Carl Anthony Towns.
You do keep saying
gotta
Cat
be. Carl Anthony Towns got to be in championship shape, and I think those are the things that's going to really make this team a really formidable opponent. Until then, they just going to have just enough gas to get where they got this year.
I think that's a great suggestion, Mark Jackson, because Mark Jackson is a player's coach.
Yeah.
And hearing the stories about him, not just as a coach, as a teammate, even Reggie Miller, when he talks about Mark Jackson, because Mark Jackson also played for the Pacers as well, how he used to hype him up and tell him, we hear Reggie Miller tell these stories like Mark Jackson put that battery in my back. That's how I had 40. That night I had 39. Mark Jackson he was in my ear telling me this, that, and the third. And I believe that's where Steph Curry and not saying Steph Curry and Klay Thompson weren't already great shooters, but when you got a coach that's on your side and in your ear and telling you, you got these niggas, it means a lot. I played for the Gauchos in Riverside majority of my amateur career coming up, outside of school I'm talking about, coming up, they call it amateur AAU or whatever, but I played for Gauchos and I played for Riverside, which were premier basketball leagues in New York City. And they had very good coaches, good coaching staff, everything else, but it was more like Thibodeau. And then when I went to play for Young Life for a little while, I love playing for Young Life because Durham used to put the battery in my back. She Bice used to put the, what the fuck
Let's go.
Yeah, what you waiting on?
Go.
Look who in front of you. Look, move. And then niggas be like, clear it out. Then Durham start clapping. We got one. Durham never knew how to pronounce my name. Or he did. He just be like, Mr. Cameron, let's go, Mr. Cameron. I'll be like, let's go, Mr. Cameron. I'm like, that battery in my back, boys. You need that sometime and it get you on 10. And Mark Jackson, to me, seems like one of them coaches.
Yeah, Durham was good.
Yeah, Durham was good.
Durham tell you about to get a scholarship.
Yeah. Durham was good. Durham
going crazy.
The two coaches out the back.
That was two good ones.
Yeah, Durham, Sheep, and when I was with the Gauchos, the twins.
What about Bingo?
I ain't get coached by Bingo.
Bingo was crazy too.
Yeah, Bingo was good. Yeah.
Okay, so
shout out to Bing.
Yeah.
So last question, and then we will no longer talk about the Knicks for the rest of this episode. Because there was a time when you guys, wore the jerseys, wore the gear. I know you're saying you won't go back. People like to see that. What would it take for you guys to be back on the Knicks bandwagon, Mase?
I never was on the bandwagon, Stat. Okay. I did this just for sending them.
This is true. I have to confirm that.
This is exactly what we all knew, and this is... I'm tired of knowing stuff people don't know. I got to sit around and act like I don't know what I know. This Knicks team is something in the arena. I don't know what happened. Something happened we don't know about until it's lifted off the Knicks. They can't win, man. I mean, this happened year after year. Something don't happen 20 and 30 years straight if something ain't happened. Something happened, man. You can't just not win for 30 years.
So it's a curse. Yes.
For the most part. It's 50 years. It's been 50 years. The Knicks are like Cleveland was before LeBron won there. 50 years.
Okay.
Last person won a chip was Phil Jackson, right?
Phil playing.
Jackson was at the 3.
He was playing.
Come on, this is crazy, man. They gotta stop this.
Cam.
I was on bandwagon for 3 days. And I'm mad at myself. I have to agree with Murder. I can't even disagree with the nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I was gonna have your back, Murder, even if you didn't say it. Murder was never on the bandwagon. Murder had a bet with Sin. He met his requirements for the bet. And I thought I'd bring out some paraphernalia because I thought shit was cool. Look, man, I started fooling myself. I'm not ever getting back on the Knicks bandwagon. Let me tell you something. This is dead ass. So shout out to my man. I'm going to tell you something right now. Shout out to my man, Busta Rhymes, right? So Busta Rhymes was looking for me. Sorry I get back to you, Busta, but I knew this. This is
Busta a Knicks fan too?
Yeah, let me tell you this story. And I'm apologizing. I'm apologizing to Busta Rhymes right here on national YouTube television, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Bus, I didn't call you back personally. Busta Rhymes had a song. He was looking for me. I got the word. He had a song that he recorded, and he had an opportunity to perform at Game 7, and he wanted me on the song. And I'm like, I'm not calling Busta back. They ain't even win Game 6 yet. See, this is the shit I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. Niggas is making Game 7 songs. Niggas got street names after each other. Niggas got all this shit and niggas ain't get it done. So, Bus, you know you my brother. I love you more than life. You my nigga. But I knew this. This is why I didn't hit you back. I'll call you tomorrow. I'll call you later on the day. Now we could chat about other shit. I didn't even want to call you about, imagine that. I would have stopped everything I'm doing, go to the studio, get ready to maybe possibly book a flight or get a flight back to New York for nothing. Sorry, Bus, man. Glad I didn't take that time out my weekend to do all that.
The song
nothing.
was called Game 7?
I don't know what the song was called, but it was a song for Game 7 to perform at Game 7 in the Garden. And it wasn't, Game 6 didn't even happen yet. So I was like,
it's the celebration I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Counting your chickens. Can't count your chickens, man.
Yeah.
I remember Killer, you told me something when we was growing up. You said you don't count any money until you have it.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I used to count my money.
Yeah.
That's what made me mad with niggas, you know?
Yeah,
you
man.
can't count the money until you got it.
I don't give a fuck, nigga tell you, yo, it's $1 million on the table. Yo, we got $200,000. Yo, we got $20. If it ain't in your pocket or your possession, it's not yours. Listen, you know, it's a lot of wire transfers now and everything, and doing shows. Everybody has their own process of doing shows. So the process of doing shows, and like I said, everybody's different. Some people want 80% up front, some people want 10%. The way I usually work is you give me half, and right before I get on stage, I'll do the other half. But you know, coming up, everything doesn't run smooth. Everything's not at amphitheater. Everything's not arena. Sometimes you're in clubs. Sometimes you're dealing with promoters who are drug dealers and don't know how to do business correct way because they just got money. They like, oh, you could book this nigga? I just made $30,000 a day. Book that nigga, da-da-da-da. Just naming a number. Not saying that was my number, anybody's number. But what happened is sometimes these promoters base your second half, which like I said, for me, second half, on the crowd coming and liquor being sold. So they may, let's say you want, let's use the number I use, you want 30,000. They send you 15,000. When you get there, you're supposed to pick up the other 15,000. When you get there, it's not as crowded as they may think. The liquor may not be sold, so they telling you, hold on a minute. We wait for more people to come. Wait for more, look, I don't give a fuck if one person in here, 1 million people in here. The deal is the deal. That is you as a promoter to have the money ready. But sometimes you run into situations where they like, oh, with the second half, we ain't got it. I remember, shout out to my man British. British actually took one of the promoters' car title and his gold teeth out his mouth because he didn't have the second half. Because I told him, that's just your problem, it's not my problem. You put me in this situation, so I need mine. But that's niggas counting money before you get it. you think that other 15 was gonna be waiting on you. So you spent the first 15.
Yeah.
Cause you like, yo, I'm about to get another 15, it's all good. And now he ain't got your 15, your rent due, car note due, insurance due, child support, whatever bills you got, you thinking you got a 15 coming, pause, and it's not there.
See, y'all, with that being said, you will not see them in a Knicks jersey anytime soon, unfortunately.
I may wear my Diplomat Knicks jersey if I'm just styling and profiling, but it ain't got nothing to do with the Knicks.
See, that's your brand. You said fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I promote advertising my brand.
There you have it, y'all. Okay, we're going to go to break. When we return, we'll get into our NBA Finals preview. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. So, guys, we are at
Hold
over.
on real quick. I
Yeah.
found some nigga that played basketball with you too. I meant to tell you.
Oh, God.
He's saying from 39th. Nick, pull him up, applause. He say from 39th between 7th and 8th. He say he played ball in St. Nick with you.
Between 7th and 8th.
Yeah, he say he used to play ball with you.
I don't know.
All right. That's the Punisher. I got him coming on Talk with Flea tomorrow. So if y'all want to be interested in undoing murder, the Punisher, I'm interviewing him tomorrow on Talk with Flea.
Crazy.
Right after It Is What It Is. But he said he from 139 between 7 and 8. He said, I ain't really come down legs, Playboy. He said he got his name playing basketball. He said, but he used to play in St. Nick, or he said he played ball in St. Nick. And he said, yeah, Mase know me, he probably don't want to admit it. He said from basketball, though, it's all basketball related. So if y'all want to see my interview tomorrow, 9 a.m. with the Punisher, pause.
So the Punisher is from Harlem?
139 between 7th and 8th.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, yeah, man. The more you know.
Literally.
Yeah, he said he from up the block.
That's crazy.
But he said he ain't come down. He said he knew Gruff and Big Al. He said he played ball once in a while, but he played ball mainly in St. Nick. Guy white bread about him.
Yeah, white.
Yeah.
Yeah. To Mace's defense, though, even you guys couldn't see his face because it was covered. You looked like you had no idea who that was.
I think he would lie.
I think I didn't know the Punisher.
You're like, I don't know who that man is. Oh, gosh. Well, make sure y'all tune in to Talk with Flea to watch that episode. That'll be a good one for sure. And then, guys, we are at over 900,000 subscribers. We're on the road to a milli. If you guys are watching this episode right now and you are not subscribed, click the button right below. It's a subscribe button. It's real easy. It's free. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate all y'all that watch the show every day. We got more content coming for y'all daily. So make sure y'all stay tuned. So time to get into this NBA Finals preview. We know Thursday, Pacers versus Thunder. I want to get you guys' prediction, but I'm going to get that towards the end of the question just to kind of see what y'all are feeling like. So in this series, besides SGA, who do you think is the biggest X factor, Mase?
Besides SGA, when it comes to the 2025 NBA Finals, I think it truly comes down to the Haliburton, man. This is what it's about. He said he was underrated. They said he was the most overrated player. All of this stuff. This is where it counts. He's the X factor in this. If he plays phenomenal, it's a great series. If he doesn't play well, this series is not going to be good at all. You know, it's really going to boil down to the type of Haliburton that shows up. Siakam is going to do what he does. That is, besides SGA, I think he's the most important player on the floor.
When you say X factor, it should be X factors for each team. I think the X factor for OKC outside of SGA, it would probably, my personal opinion, it would probably have to be J. Will. Cause Chet's going to give you what Chet could give you. He's long, he's lanky paws. Harstein is there for the backup, move Chet to the 4. I thought, or the 3, maybe sometimes even. But I really believe it boils down to J. Will. He to me, I'm definitely putting Haliburton above him, but he's not consistent game to game. The last couple games he's been consistent, but throughout the playoffs, he hasn't been consistent. Now the X factor on the Indiana Pacers, I would definitely say it has to be Haliburton just because of the inconsistency. And Haliburton has some great moments, but game to game. And don't get it fucked up. The moments that he had were backbreakers, pause. Like, you don't get to the next round off the moments that he had, but we can't have 8 points games from supposed to be or want to be superstars. It doesn't matter what's going on. Even with Shay's going to get 30. Even when you don't think he got 30, by the time you look up, how the fuck he get 28 in the middle of the third quarter? You look up and he's a factor. This is the real series that Haliburton needed, to be totally honest with you. This is the series to prove that, yeah, I'm one of them niggas. I'm one of the best. Not saying he's not one of the best point guards now, but you got the MVP right there on the other side of the court. Not only on the other side of the court, you are facing him to win a championship. This is where you could step up and say, this y'all king? This the nigga y'all been praising the last 3 years? This the nigga y'all gave the MVP to? Now, you do that, not talking about by team effort. Of course it takes a team to do it. Talk about you be the man. Then I could go with the Haliburton son. I'm not going with that right now. Right now, the Haliburton's on the other side of the court. That nigga Shai Gilgeous is not coming to play no games. You can't rattle him, very smooth. And he's not Jalen Brunson. No disrespect to Jalen Brunson, because I think Jalen Brunson is all world. He's second team, all NBA. But he's not a little guard that you could just muscle. He's not one of them niggas that you have to hide on defense. He's a legit 6'6", 6'7", and you're not just gonna bully him because he's smaller. He's not a small guard. He will be a problem. So that's the X factors on both sides of the ball for me.
Okay. And now who do we think is the better head coach? Are we going with Carlisle or are we going with Dagnall?
I'm going with Carlisle. I gotta go with Carlisle. All the histories goes with Carlisle, and you know, being a president of Titletown, I gotta go with the person who last won the championship.
How was he a Titletown and won championship?
You're right. I'm saying that we're going with who's
that
been
was
there,
like accepting
who actually won one. He's the one that knows what it takes to win one. So, and the time that he won it, it was with supreme coaching. He beat a team down there in Miami that was stacked. They were loaded. They had LeBron. They had Wade. They had they had, what's his name? Chris Bosh. They had Norris. They had all kind of people down there. And the real thing that he was able to do is get Jason Terry to believe he can compete with LeBron. If you can get Jason Terry to believe he can outplay LeBron, you can will this Indiana team to a championship. And that's how I'm looking at this. Like, whatever he told him in that time was amazing.
Rick Carlisle's not even close. Like Mase said, he's a championship coach. Not only a championship coach, he was kind of shoved out of Dallas. They'll never disclose it because he's a professional, and Mark Cuban handled it like a professional. But we know Luka Doncic and him wasn't on the same page, and that was basically the demise of his coaching career in Dallas. It was like, we got to go with the superstar, we got to go with the coach. And they ended up going with the superstar that's not even there anymore. But who would think that you get, first of all, you think about preseason and guessing who's going to make it to the finals, Eastern Conference Finals and everything. And the Pacers, the last 2 seasons, was not on anybody's radar to go to the Eastern Conference Championship, let alone go to the NBA Finals. But when this season started, we say, oh my God, Philly looks good. The Knicks just had a good season last season. We know Milwaukee got Damian Lillard. He was going through personal problems. Him and the Greek Freak going to be crazy. What about Boston? Boston's going for another championship run. Blah, 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 blah. Indiana Pacers back in the Eastern Conference Finals. Next year, Indiana Pacers in the NBA Championship. So we have to get to Rick Carlisle. Now, what's going on with the OKC coach? I don't want to say his name, so I don't want to say it mispronounce.
Dagnall.
Say it?
Dagnall.
Dagno.
Nault.
No, the whole thing about him is we got to give him credit too. He's been coaching 5 years. First game he won about 20 to 24 games, 30. Then the last 2 seasons has been really amazing. He was a G League coach with OKC, but he's still climbing. He still has time to get where Rick Carlisle has been. Young coach. The GM believed in him, and now he has opportunity to prove himself. But we're going off experience, and I think the championship experience definitely was displayed last round with Rick Carlisle after losing that first heartbreaking loss to the Knicks in the first game, and for him to come back and make adjustments each game, you can't do more than that. But Dagnall is on his way, but right now the experience definitely goes to Carlisle.
Okay. Then we're always talking about the stars, which rightfully so. We're going to talk about the starters. But in you guys' opinion, who has the better bench, the Thunder or the Pacers?
They both have really good benches, but I think more points can come off the bench of Indiana. I saw one of the guys, number 3, that came off the bench for Indiana. He was just shooting the ball really, really well. And when you got people like that that's coming off the bench that could light up, that can get 3 threes, that's gonna make a difference in a close game, you know. When you look at Caruso is scrappy for OKC, but I think more points comes off of the bench of the Indiana Pacers. I think better defense comes off the bench for OKC. So it's just really a matter of what they need that night. If they need points off the bench, then OKC may be in trouble. And since defense wins the championships, then you'll find yourself leaning more towards OKC.
Okay, and Cam?
It's a tough one, man. But I'm going to have to, presently, more with Indiana as well, because like Mase said, Caruso's a gem off the bench. Not only Caruso, they have some other hidden gems. They have the other Williams that comes off the bench. He's great too. But right now, you got to think about McConnell. McConnell's that little school teacher getting there and do what the fuck he got to do, man. I like that little white boy, man. Because that nigga ain't got no fear. He was looking at niggas like, yo, soon, he don't even get in rhythm. When you sub him in, he's looking to score as soon as he gets in the game. I'm like, who the fuck this little white boy think he is? And he get the basket. You know, he didn't have the best game the last game that they played or the last couple games, but he could be a problem potentially because you underestimate him because he's short and white. Not only that, you're thinking about Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin can have a good game from time to time, and he brings in size off the bench. Bryant, right now I'm going to have to go with Indiana, but I'm not mad.
Thomas Bryant.
Yeah, and
that was the name.
Yeah, but I'm not mad at OKC's bench either. But right now, just looking at what the bench done against New York, we're going with the Indiana Pacers.
Okay, and then speaking on specific player matchups, Mase, which one are you looking out for? Which one do you think is going to be a good little matchup in the game?
The biggest matchup is SGA versus Haliburton. Whoever wins that is who wins the series. I don't think it boils down to anybody else. I think somebody like the power forward, what's his name? He plays streaky sometime. Miles Turner. He's the one that's supposed to make a difference in this series as well. If he has an explosive first 2 games, we could be looking at Indiana being the champs. I think if somebody that could really make a difference, even though we're focused on the SGA thing and SGA versus Haliburton, is really going to boil down to Miles Turner. Put a star by his name, because when we're looking back at this series, he will be the indicator of if they are the champs. If he doesn't show up, there's no way they could win it. It doesn't matter what anybody else does.
The key matchup? See, that's the thing about matchups in the NBA today. It's almost like football. Because you'll sit there and say Patrick Mahomes against Tom Brady or fucking Lamar Jackson, whatever. And they don't really play each other.
Right.
They're not even on the field at the same time. But that's the matchup you say. So when you sit there and say, not Mase, I'm talking about in general, Haliburton and SGA, they probably not going to guard each other. Maybe SGA guard Haliburton, but they know you're not putting Haliburton on SGA, even though I think these are the two names that is the matchup who's going to be definitive to win this series. It's just a shame that we don't get the matchups to where niggas are scared to guard their own position these days. And now that's just sad, because if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And now they hide you on defense to where you don't have to be exposed that you're not that good of a defender. It's like right now I seen some shit where they trying to ban, the Hacker Shack murder where they foul you on purpose, how they was doing that to the center for the Knicks. I can't think of that bum ass nigga name right now. Yeah, Mitchell Robinson. How they was doing it to him, and I see they're gonna try and do a vote this offseason to stop that. But they say it slows the game down. But no, I don't like that. It's just, basketball is not football. You have to play offense, you have to play defense, you have to play special teams, so to speak, just using football terminologies. You have to practice your free throws.
Yeah.
It's part of the game. You can't just be like, nah, I don't want to shoot free throws because I'm not good at it. If that's the case, Shaq would have averaged another 12, 14 points if he wasn't allowed to do that. Because it started called the Hacker Shaq, and there's the Hacker Mitchell and the Hacker this, whatever. That is part of the game. You have ample time and ample hours to practice your free throws. If you can't get it done, then you just can't get it done. If you're good in other areas, you're good in other areas. But you cannot sit there and say, let's not foul this nigga, because you know that he can't make free throws. So that's the matchup I think that's going to determine the series stat.
Okay. And then now time for the final question. So you guys gave your biggest X factor. You guys both said Carlisle is the better head coach. You actually both said the Pacers have the better bench. Talked about your player matchups. Mase, who do you think, and it's just a prediction, it's not set, who do you think is going to win it all?
I got to stand with Indiana because I've been saying that all the playoffs. But, I wouldn't be surprised if OKC win. I think if OKC win, it's gonna be a blowout series, like 4-1. I think if one person on Indiana doesn't show up, they're gonna lose 4-1. But I want Indiana to win.
Mace, who are you picking, bro?
I said I want Indiana to win.
I ain't actually you want. See, that's how you save yourself.
I didn't say they were going to win. I said I wanted them to win.
Who's good? Not who you want to win. Who's going to win? Safety net, nigga.
OKC is gonna win.
Thank you. I concur.
That was a good question, because that was a crazy switch.
No, I want Indiana to win, but I feel like OKC is gonna win.
I agree. I think OKC is gonna win. I just think that, Miles Turner doesn't know how to control himself. He gets himself in foul trouble a lot. And I think that OKC really could play around with that 4 and 5 position with Hartenstein and Chet. Even when Chet's out the game, you got Hartenstein, and when Hartenstein's not in the game, you got Chet. And when they're both in at the same time, it's a miniature Twin Towers almost. You know what I'm saying? Dort has really showed his game throughout the playoffs. Of course, we talk about Shea and Jay Will, them three. Listen, it's a great matchup, man. It's a really good matchup.
Finals.
Yeah, it's a really great matchup, and what Siakam has been doing has been really, really great. The difference is that you have to do that now against somebody who's 7-1. Chet is 7-1. Because Chet starts at the 4. When they got Hartenstein starting and Chet starting, he starts at the 4. And when you're 6'7", maybe 6'8", and you're dealing with an agile 7-1, we're talking about Chet. Not only that, you might be a liability, not say a liability because Siakam plays his ass off, but if they ended up spreading the floor on the offense and not running, Chet could shoot the jump shot as well. That's a real, outside of Shea and Tyrese Haliburton, that's a key matchup as well. Chet Holmgren against Pascal Siakam. That's really going to be able to tell who wins this series as well. That's a very, very key matchup. The young, tall, lanky guy, or the African on a mission, nigga, that already got a championship, nigga. Who wants it more? Pause. So I think that's really, I know I said Haliburton and Shea, but I think that's really the marquee matchup. Siakam and Chet, and we'll see what happens, but I'm going with OKC.
Yeah, that's a good one. And actually, last question, because this was kind of trending too. Are you guys excited to watch this series? Because a lot of people were like, Thunder and Pacers, I'm not watching the finals. That's boring. Da da da. Like, what's y'all's thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, in the regular season, they beat the Pacers twice. So I don't think OKC thinks the Pacers could beat them at all. If they're looking forward to this series, they're like, we have a championship. It's ours to lose. That's how they're approaching this. Because during the season, they beat them, convincingly both times.
Okay. And Kent.
1 second.
And Shea had 45.
Far as does anybody want to watch this? Because Mason didn't answer your question. He just ignored the whole
you don't want to watch it.
He wants the direct answer.
Okay, I don't want to watch it.
I understand spinning now. I've learned.
I don't want to watch it. They beat already the Pacers twice in the regular season. Each time they played, it seemed like Shea was having the game of the century. So it's like, why would I want to see that again? It's nothing new. They didn't add nobody new. They're gonna put the same people on Naismith or Neesmith on Shea, and Shea gonna get 50. He probably might have 50 in this series.
Yeah, that to me, all that shit is out the window because the Knicks couldn't beat nobody in the regular season that was top three. They couldn't beat OKC. They couldn't beat Cleveland. They couldn't beat the Celtics, and he made it farther than everybody except for OKC. So sometimes what happens in the regular season doesn't determine what happens in the playoffs. But to answer the question, I'm going to watch it because I'm a basketball fan, and this is the last of basketball. If I'm a casual basketball fan, not Cameron Giles, a regular nigga who just watch basketball, no. Nobody outside of the state of Indiana and Oklahoma City really care unless you love basketball. You got to think about this. Even though, like I said, I'm proud of Pacers for what they did, etc. You got to think about this, and no shade to the Pacers. Think about how much litter this would have been in the Garden. This would have been pandemonium. I told niggas if the Knicks make it to the chip, I'm going to go back. I said, I'll get a ticket for this because it's going to be actual pandemonium. You sat there and thought you seen some stars the last 4 or 5 weeks. Nigga, Michael Jackson might have came out the ground for this joint, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's how crazy the Garden would have been. And I think a lot of people who are just casual basketball fans watch to see like, oh, Chris Rock is there or Ben Stiller's there. Oh my God, look at so-and-so. Look at the Jenners there or whatever. When you're in certain places, it's more lit. Same thing like if it's in LA. When it's in LA, it's lit because you don't Jack and Nicholson. You don't know who's going to be there. It's lit. Certain places are more lit than others, but as a very big fan of basketball, I'm gonna watch it. I think it's gonna be an intriguing series. So yes, I'll definitely watch it. But I understand those that don't want to.
Okay, well, the NBA Finals kicks off on Thursday. In the comments down below, let us know who you guys' picks would be. But that is all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all for watching, and as always, it is what it is.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. 2 Big Macs, like when they doing them 2 for $5.